Hello everyone, welcome to today's session where we're going to look at the poem She Walks in Beauty by George Gordon Byron. This is a famous poem which was published in 1815 by this British romantic poet Lord Byron. If we talk about the backdrop of the poem, then this poem was composed by Byron when he met his cousin Mrs. Anne Beatrix Wilmot at funeral when she happened to be dressed in a black mourning dress with shiny spangles, and it was at this meeting when Byron was so struck by her unusual beauty that at the very next day he composed this poem. This lyric poem is also remarkable for its musical composition, as this poem is exclusively composed in Iambic Tetrameter. It has total 3 stanzas in it. Each stanza contains 6 lines. And this is the composition. Iambic tetrameter, 3 stanzas of 6 lines each, is very much similar to the composition of hymns. Hymns are the songs of worship. So this was the brief introduction of this poem. Now let's begin the text. And as we have discussed, and as the title is also suggesting, that in this poem Byron is praising and seeking to capture a sense of the majestic beauty of a particular woman. So keeping this in mind, let's begin the text now. She walks in beauty like the night of cloudless climes and starry skies. So here as we can sense that at the very outset, Byron has set the tone of the poem with this comparison which seems almost divine, where he is comparing the lady to a night. The night, this night is not an ordinary night. This night is cloudless with a clear starry sky. The sky is very clear. So this is the comparison which Byron has established here. Before I talk about this comparison, once pay attention on this statement. She walks in beauty. Now after reading this, we can say that the beauty of this lady is not purely physical here. Instead, it seems more than physical, because she walks in beauty, where it seems that the poet wants to convey, poet doesn't want to convey a lady who is walking beautifully, or a beautiful lady who is taking a walk. Rather, there is a lady who walks in beauty, which situates this lady as in such a position where beauty surrounds this lady like an aura or like a shield. That's why this lady walks in beauty. And by stating this simple yet powerful statement, Byron has at once created an atmosphere of admiration and mystery. She walks in beauty. Now there is a comparison like the night of cloudless climes and starry skies. So she is just like the night which is not an ordinary night, which is free from which is cloudless, and that's why there is no threat of storm in it. It is an ultimate peaceful beauty, which is cloudless climes and starry skies. And as this night is cloudless, it has a clear sky. That's why it is not actually dark. It is not really dark. It is full of stars. That's why it has a certain radiance in it. So this is what in the first 2 lines Byron tells about the beauty of the lady. She walks in beauty like the night of cloudless climes and starry skies, and all that's best of dark and bright meet in her aspect and her eyes. And here in this 3rd line, Byron is proceeding further his first argument. He is amplifying his first comparison of night. He is amplifying here. He is saying that just starry night is also a combination of starry night, is a combination of dark and bright. In this way, she is the combination. Whatever the best combination of dark and bright, she becomes of that. What makes her, the best combination of dark and bright makes her, and this best combination of dark and bright meets in her appearance so harmoniously, meet in her aspect, meet in her appearance aspect. Here we can take her facial expressions or her overall appearance, that these perfect amalgamation or combination of dark and bright meets or come harmoniously in her overall appearance, and especially in her eyes. Thus mellowed to that tender light which heaven too gaudy day denies. And in this way, thus mellowed to that tender light. Now here, if you see, if you pay attention on this phrase tender light, then if we go to the earlier comparison, then the starry night, the light of the starry night is tender, is soft and subdued. So that's why in as and the lady is just like that night which has a very clear starry sky. And in this way, she is bright, but her brightness is not as gaudy, blinding, or bright just like a daylight. And that's why she has a certain heavenly aura or heavenly effect in her, which heaven too. She has a heavenly effect due to her tender light that is very toned down, mellowed, soft and subdued, and whatever bright that is toned down in her appearance. And this heavenly tender light is denied to daylight because daylight, the effect of the daylight is blinding and bright, which is not in the lady's appearance. It is mellowed, it is tender, soft, subdued, and yet soothing. And that's why soothing. So this is what the first stanza of this poem. Next, one shade the more, one ray the less, had half impaired the nameless grace. And here what the poet or Byron is suggesting, that the balance between light and dark is so perfect in the lady, in the beauty of the lady, that if you add one more shade, or if you take a single ray from it, you will end up with a mess. You can impair, you can partially damage the prettiness of the lady, because the balance is so perfect that there is no need of adding or subtracting. Everything falls at place. It is so perfect. So one shade the more, one ray the less, had half impaired the nameless grace. And the grace and the beauty of this lady is hard to define. That's why it is nameless. And this nameless grace, which waves in every raven tress, or softly lightens over her face. And this nameless grace is very much reflected, is which waves, nameless grace which waves in every raven tress. This nameless grace can be seen in every lock of her jet black hair. Raven means black, jet black tress, lock of hair. In her every lock of jet black hair, this grace can be witnessed, or softly lightens over her face. And it also, this grace also lightens on her, over her face, in her expressions. So this grace is nameless. It is hard to define, but it can be experienced, it can be seen in the expression, in the expression of her face, which lightens it up. So here again, that binary, a set of contrast of light and dark, is repeated here, as with the jet black hair and the bright face of the lady, where thoughts serenely sweet express, how pure, how dear their dwelling place. Now here what poet seems to suggest is that that her face is lightening. She has the whatever expression she gives, it is sweet, and she bears sweet expression due to her serene thoughts. She has a serene thoughts, very calm and composed thoughts, which dwells in her mind, their dwelling place. So these serene thoughts dwells in her mind, and these thoughts are so pure, so dear. Now here dear in the context of this poem, here dear suggests precious and valuable. How valuable, how precious, and how pure thoughts she dwells in. These all thoughts, which are very precious, valuable, and pure, are dwelling in her mind, and that comes on her face, that comes as an expression on her face, where thoughts serenely sweet express. So here poet is suggesting the uh, the inner pure thoughts comes out on the face as an expression. Next, and on that cheek and over that brow, so soft, so calm, yet eloquent, the smiles that win, the tints that glow. So if we take the meaning from third line, then the winning smile of the lady, the blushes that glow on her cheeks and over her brow. Here brow is a poetic way of saying forehead. That on her countenance, on her brow, on her cheek, there is a radiance, there is a glow, and actually this lady is so soft and so calm, which gives her a regal status, which gives her beauty a different touch, a unique touch, because she is so soft and so calm, yet eloquent. But but the radiance and but the winning smile and the blushes on her cheeks, and the shining of her forehead gives her face an eloquence, or these all aspects of her face makes her face expressive. Though she is very soft and calm, but these all features makes her face so expressive that despite of being very soft, so calm, and very elegant, she is eloquent. But tell of days in goodness spent, a mind at peace with all below, a heart whose love is innocent. And here this word but, if you see, so here poet seems to surmise that this all serenity, smiling, blushes, glow, and radiance, these all are perfectly telling that this lady spends much of her time in good deeds, which comes on her face. Goodness comes on her face. Her mind is at peace. She which means that she harbors no animosity towards anyone. With all below means with everyone on earth. She harbors no animosity with anyone on earth, and that's why her conscience is at rest, which her face displays very well. And that's why a heart whose love is innocent, and that's why when love enters her heart, it is an innocent emotion. So this was the description of the lady whom Byron washed, and scholars believe it that the lady was Mrs. Anne Beatrix Wilmot. So throughout this poem, or through this poem, by focusing on female beauty, Byron seems to explore that physical appearance depends on the inner goodness and harmony. And one more fact, what he wants to convey, what he seems to convey, is that the beauty is somewhat which lies within, and the body is the body, beauty lies within, and body only projects that beauty. So this is what we can take out from this poem. And before winding up, I would like to give you a brief description, or just a quick look on stylistic devices employed in this poem. First one is simile. And as I hope that you have guessed, as we have completed this literary device earlier in our previous sessions. So simile, where the lady is compared to a lovely night which has a very clear starry sky, as she walks in beauty like the night of cloudless climes and starry skies. So here is a simile. With the help of like, there is a comparison. Next one is sibilance. Sibilance is a figure of speech where a hissing sound is created by repeating this letter S. So here in these two lines, second and 11 line, there is a sibilant effect is created, as you can see, of cloudless climes and starry skies, where thoughts serenely sweet express. So you can sense this effect, the sibilant effect in these lines. Next is alliteration, and as you know, alliteration is a literary device where consonant sound is repeated at the beginning of two or more words. So in these all lines there is an alliteration, like if I read it, pay attention on this: of cloudless climes and starry skies, thus that day denies had half, which waves serenely sweet, dear dwelling place, so soft the that. And the last one is assonance, and assonance is a literary device where vowel sound, identical vowel sounds are repeated. As you can see in these lines, there is an assonance, a vowel sound, I hope you know, a, e, I, o, u, and if we pronounce it, then that sound must be repeated. Like the night, climbed skies, nameless grace, waves raven, serenely sweet, so eloquent, wind tints, tell spent. So this was the poem and its stylistic devices. And that's all for today. Thank you for now.